Hi, welcome back to my dear makeup. Today I'm going to show you my eyebrow routine, and I don't do a lot to keep my eyebrows as you normally see them, because this is what they look like before I do anything. I did already plug them, and then with plugging I think it's important if you know your shape, so I try to keep them like straight here. And then I have my highest point, as they say, and then they go down a little bit. So how you determine your highest point is when you take a brush and then next to your nose, and you have to go in the middle of your eye, and then is your highest point. And the point where your eyebrow has to end is you go from your nose again and next to your eye, and you can see my eyebrow is really too short for my face, so that's why I fill them in and elongate them a little bit. And well, I'll show you with the other eye. That's the highest point, and that's where they have to go. And the beginning is also important, because I see a lot of girls that have a lot of space in between their eyebrows, and you actually have to go next to your nose and in the inner corner of your eye and then upwards, and that's where your brow has to start. So if you have very light eyebrows, I recommend you fill them in from that point on. So I'm quite lucky I have that many eyebrows like from myself, but I know a lot of girls that have very light eyebrows or not that many hairs there, so eyebrows can really make a face. So I think it's very important you fill them in and you draw them and you use products, whatever products you need to keep them beautiful. Because like this is a very basic makeup I'm wearing right now. I just have some brown eye pencil and some coral colored lipstick on, and that's really my go-to look when I just go to work or anything. But I always make sure my base is the same. So when I go clubbing, this is also my base. My base is always perfect. Not perfect, but the best I can make it. So also my eyebrows. I use a few things to keep them perfect. Like I said, I plug them. This is Tweezerman tweezers, and they're very sharp. This is a small one, and I always save the little lid, because if you drop them and it hits like the stone floor in your bathroom or anything, then the point gets, how do you call that? Stump? I don't know, you get what I mean. So keep this little plastic thingy over. And then what I like to do, and this is not something I do every day, I do plug them every day because I have a lot of eyebrow and I don't want any nasty hairs growing under it or above it, because I also plug above it, and I plug this under and I plug in between. So this is what I do once a week. I comb them upwards, like that, and then I take my mirror, and what is up there I cut. And not too much, because you don't want to ruin your eyebrows, but just a little bit. And so you can perfect the shape. Like that. The other brow. Because I do this once a week, they're not that long, but if I haven't done this like in a month or so, they're very long. And then I comb them through. The brush gets stuck in my hair. And then I take a brow brush by Real Techniques, And I really love Real Techniques, but this brush is actually a little bit too thick to perfect your brows. So I always use a different brush too, and that's a very small brush with very dense hairs, and this I use for the end. But I start off with my Rituals brow powder, eyebrow powder, and it's in coffee brown, and it looks like this. And I take the lightest color and I just dip my brush in a little bit. I take my mirror and then I start on the bottom like that, and then I swipe it upwards. And this is just to fill them in a little bit, because I have the color. I don't have to add any more color, but I have to add a little bit of more of filling, as you might say, because that just looks calmer, I think, in the face. Calmer, is that a word? And then I go down. So I just follow the shape of my eyebrow. So I've said this before, it's not really like I do anything spectacular with my eyebrows, but I just want to show you because I got a lot of questions about it. And then we go to the tip, and I take the smallest brush, and with the small strokes I make them a little bit longer. Like that. And then I take the darker color, also dip it in just a little bit, and I go over the end part a little bit more. And then I see some empty spaces here. So now you can see the difference between this eyebrow and this one. This looks way more prettier, I think. So the brow brush, so this I do every day, like the filling in part, but the cutting part is just once a week, and the plucking part is like every day or every other day. And if you just keep that up, you don't have to pluck that much. If you just pluck once a week, well, yeah, I don't think it looks pretty when you have all that hair sticking out. And when you do have to pluck, you have to pluck a lot. So your skin gets irritated, and I just pluck up a few hairs, whichever has grown over the night. I pluck them out in the morning, and so I just keep it up. I don't have to pluck a lot of hairs at once. And a little bit of the dark color in the end. Like that. And then I take a little bit of Lash Brow Designer. This is by Catrice, and this looks a bit shady because it has because I take it over my just filled in eyebrows. The powder gets stuck on it, and then yeah, it looks dirty, but it's just the eyebrow product. And I comb the front part, I comb it a little bit upwards, and then the rest I just comb into place. So you get a little bit of that fluffiness at the beginning, and then your brow also looks a little bit fuller, I think. So, and this just keeps them in place all day. And you also have like this brow gel. Well, every like affordable drugstore brand has like a brow gel like this, but you can also buy more expensive ones. You just have to make sure that they don't dry up white, because I also had some brow gels and they dried up a little bit flaky, so you're just ending up with like something that looks like dandruff on your eyebrows, and that's not pretty. This is, most of the time I just leave it at this, but if you just really want to perfect your eyebrows, you can add a little bit of concealer under it. And I just see, oh no, I just have it, yeah. And I'm taking a solid concealer for this, like this, in a jar, because you can also use like a liquid concealer, but it's harder to determine how many product you get on the brush. So I prefer to take like a solid concealer in a jar. And I take my mirror and then I just sharpen the shape. And what's also great about using concealer under your eyebrows is if you take a lighter color, it immediately highlights your eyebrows. And if you have like a few hairs there that you forgot to plug, or maybe your lighting is not that great in your bathroom and you just haven't seen them yet, if you put a little bit of concealer over it, the hairs will, well, you won't notice the hairs that much because they have the concealer color, obviously. Well, sometimes because I have like dark eyebrow hairs, the hairs are there, but I can't tick them with my tweezers, so I get very frustrated because you can see a little black spot where the hair starts to grow, but it's too small to take it yet. So that's also why I apply concealer under my eyebrows, just to conceal those little hairs. And you can also do this above your eyebrow if you find that necessary. I usually don't, but you can do it. So you can also sharpen the shape like here, like that, and like that. Okay. And when that's done, I like to apply a little bit of highlighter under my eyebrows. This is Albatross by NARS. And this is a very beautiful highlighter with a gold shimmer, so it's more yellow toned highlighter. And it's very intense, so I use a fluffy brush to apply this, because if you use like a brush with dense hairs, it takes up too much product. And this just applies a little bit, just a hint of shine. And this also highlights your eyebrows and lifts them. Also a little bit in the inner corner, makes you look more awake. And you can also add some highlighter in your cupid's bow to make your lips look a little bit plumpier. And well, that's it, I think. So it's not like I fill them in with a lot of products. Like some girls I see, they use like Dip Brow from Anastasia, which is a great product if you don't have a lot of hairs. You can really fill them in naturally. But if you do have like dark eyebrows like I do, I think this is a really good way, just using powder and some clear brow gel just to place them, keep them in place all day, and just fill them in so they look a little bit more beautiful, a little bit more perfect. Well, it's not really perfect, but a little bit more. So I really hope you liked this tutorial, and I hope you liked seeing I did my eyebrows after all those questions, and I hope you're not disappointed because I don't do a lot, but I hope you have something, you can do something with my tips by cutting them and plugging them every day. And yeah, I really hope you can perfect your eyebrows now too. So if you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So thank you for watching. Bye.